Welcome back, everyone, to Box Podcast. It's been a long time. Let us tell you why. It was Christmas. We had earned a break, right? We had been very consistent all of last season. We turned up even when the other didn't. So if I wasn't here, Matt came. If Matt wasn't here, I came. And it got to Christmas. You know, F1 news dies down, content dies down, the drivers are on breaks. We wanted a break from F1 a little bit as well. But we are back. What I will say is this isn't officially the second season of Box. This is still what I consider last season. The new season will start the week before Bahrain. But from this point onwards, we will be here every single week. That is just semantics that I'm dealing with. How are you? Happy New Year to every single one of you. Hope you had a great Christmas as well. But I know you don't care about the niceties. Obviously, we are Box Pod, powered by Box Club. So do check them out. All the links will be in the description below. You can also get an exclusive 30% discount off an Ultra subscription. But it is free if you just want to use the free version of it. So without any further ado, give us a 5-star rating. Like, comment, subscribe. Say hello to my new microphone, and let's get on with the show.
All right, guys, and as Luke said, welcome back. It is a brand new year. The new season is upon us, but it is good to be back. It's nice to have a little break. Obviously, during that break, Luke had some good news, so congratulations to Luke and Ruth. Obviously, if you don't know, I'll let Luke say.
It was just a series of good news. I know you were all obviously here when I proposed to Ruth, but funnily enough, although I didn't let on to this, on the same day we also found out that she was pregnant. So that was, as you can imagine, quite some day.
I'm assuming a Lewis Hamilton fan.
I've thought about this, right? My child is going to be subjected to, at this point in time, being a Liverpool fan and a Ferrari fan.
I mean, a Liverpool fan bit, okay, yeah, but Ferrari fan, okay. But no, congratulations, Luke. It's very exciting. I am delighted for you. So do drop a comment down below. Say congratulations to Luke. However, we thought that was big news. We got bigger. All right. So it's not that often when we start a podcast, we get breaking news. However, as of 40 minutes ago, we have breaking news. And Luke, we discussed this a lot last year, but Lewis Hamilton's race engineer, Adami, has moved to a new role within Ferrari, which means he will not be working alongside Lewis Hamilton for this season. So that is big news. Apparently, he's going to work within the Ferrari Driver Academy. And look, we spoke a lot about this last year. There was no connection between Lewis and Adami. And for me personally, I never like to see anyone lose their job or be, demoted or go to a different role, whatever. And it may have been his choice. We don't know. But I think this was key. Heading into the new year, new regulations, I really feel this was a key move for Ferrari to get hopefully Lewis Hamilton back to winning ways and competing for championships again. Luke, what do you think?
Look, I agree with you. No one ever wants to see anyone lose their jobs. I know some of you are listening saying, oh my God, this is proof God is real. But this is still a man who has held that role for quite some time. And clearly he is a man of talent. You don't get to that position by being a bum, right? But I agree with you. The relationship, the connection was not there. And do I think, from an engineering side, last season that Ferrari massively under-delivered? 100%. Communications were weak. The car was weak. And we've said so many times that if you are serious about this Lewis Hamilton thing, if you are going to spend all this money to bring in a 7-time world champion, then you're going to have to make sure all the other pieces of the puzzle fit, because there's no point trying to jam a square into a circle. Okay, you have to mold this team around not even necessarily Lewis, because they've got Charles Leclerc, who is fantastic, right? But they have to make it work for the reasons that they brought Lewis in. And it was not working with Adami. So I'm glad that he's not just like lost his job. He's just been moved to another role. Like I say, it's very, very probable that he's a highly talented, intelligent geezer. And it just wasn't working with Lewis. And we know it's all about relationships. You know, you look at some of the best sort of driver-engineer relationships in recent modern times, like you see with, you know, Max and GP, I think is the one that is probably going to come to people's minds. But I know people want to hear Lewis and Bono as well. But it's so important, and those relationships are so integral. And finally, we're going to see someone else with Lewis, but we don't know who.
No, that hasn't been announced yet. But the change needs to happen. I'm glad they've done it now. And I think, you know, for Adami, look, it's gutting for him, because this is a guy who, you know, he's worked with some fantastic drivers over the years, but to have a 7-time world champion, I'm sure he's gutted it hasn't worked. And, you know, regardless of whether you're going into a different role, it is a demotion. Regardless, that is the pinnacle. Do you know what I mean? You're working alongside a 7-time world champion. To go anywhere else within a team, apart from a team principal, I would say it is a demotion.
Yeah, I mean, look, realistically, it is a demotion. There's no hiding that. I don't think it. I mean, they're not going to openly say that, are they? You know, they're not going to come out and be like, Riccardo Adami has been demoted, because that would just be soulless. This man has a family. I mean, it is a demotion. It's a step down for him. And look, rightfully so. Like I said, it wasn't working. And if you are serious about Lewis, you are going to have to start making changes around him to make it work, because there's no point in this whole thing being a waste of time and a waste of investment, and potentially a waste of a legacy. You know, I've come on here before and said I personally don't believe anything will tarnish Lewis's legacy, because the man's a 7-time world champion. You know, nobody looks back at Michael Schumacher's time at Mercedes and says, oh God, you know, he really fell off. Like, people look at his time at Ferrari when he was absolutely on top of the world, or his championship at Benetton in, you know, 92, when that was kind of unthinkable. So I don't like it when people say this tarnishes his legacy, but, you know, at this point in time it does. People watch it and be like, oh, Lewis, has he fallen off and whatnot? And I think I personally don't believe a lot of that is to do with him, but this season is going to be big. How many times have we had to say that about Ferrari?
Do let us know what your thoughts are on that. But I saw a quote this week from Fred Vasseur, and Fred Vasseur said he wants Ferrari to go under the radar in 2026, basically insinuating, look, he just wants us to have a smooth season, really be competitive, all of that stuff. The issue is I had with that quote was they've gone under the radar last year. Like, we want them over that radar. We want them bloody like going for all out this year to actually start going for championships. Not under the radar, Fred, all right?
I don't want Ferrari going under the radar. What? Red Bull haven't flown under the radar for the past 4 years, 5 years, whatever. You know, Mercedes weren't flying under the radar when they dominated 2014 to 2020. Don't fly under the radar. Fucking make sure you've got everyone tracking you on that radar, because that means that you're the number one team. People are trying to be like you. I don't understand that comment, because if you're flying under the radar, it kind of means you're doing a whole lot of nothing. You know, Ferrari don't need to... Oh, sorry, everyone. I'm just getting a call. Ferrari don't need to come out this season and just play it safe. You know, Ferrari need to come out this season and try and win a world championship.
Right, let's talk about liveries. It's now that time. Last night it was revealed, or actually the early hours of this morning, Red Bull and RB released their liveries for the 2026 season. And I have to say, the Red Bull livery is beautiful. It is stunning. We've always joked with Red Bull that actually the liveries just look the same year in, year out. It's like you have to be creative, and it looks like they've gone in and go, well, do you know what? Actually, I think just change that yellow slightly, and then good to go. This is a work of art. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think it's the first time that I can remember that I've really liked a Red Bull livery, and they've absolutely smashed it out of the park. I don't know how true this is. I think it is true. Red Bull tweeted, I think the person that designed it, I'm pretty certain the man that designed the livery is someone who designs like fan concept liveries. You would have seen them before, right? You've been scrolling on Instagram and you see like a livery for Mercedes or Williams or McLaren, and you're like, holy smokes, like that looks class. Why haven't they done that? I think Red Bull actually approached someone that does those concepts and used him, which is sick, because not only that's like an F1 fan with a passion has now been employed for, you know, his services were employed to create a livery for Red Bull. Not only that, it's the first Red Bull livery in, man, it's got to be over a decade that people are talking about in a good way.
They needed it. They needed a shake-up, and honestly, I think it's beautiful. I like it's shiny. That's what we like. We've seen the liveries over last year. You know, they've tried to limit the amount of. They've tried to put a more black on it, haven't they, for the weight wise and everything. But for me, like, honestly, I think it's stunning. I really like it. It's one of my favourite ones already, and I know it's only 2 being released, but I think it's great. Really good.
Yeah, I mean the Racing Bull one doesn't excite me as such, but like I think it's a nice livery. It's, you know, it's just kind of it's going to be one of the ones that is in the mixer. It looks good. It's fine. It doesn't look bad. But that Red Bull one, the Red Bull one just looks sick. And the thing is, I don't know whether this is perception, right? Does it look a lot better because they've had such a boring one for so long? But like, I don't know. I think it just looks class. It's got a shine to it.
I going back to the RB one, I think with the RB one, the reason why it doesn't stand out as much is because I think they had their standout season last year when it got released. You know, when we got they did the release at, what was it, the O2 or somewhere. It came out and we're like, wow, this is a big change to the RB livery. This year it looks pretty similar, and they've just put a bit of shine on it. I still rate it though, because I loved that livery last year,
and it does look good. Like, I still like the dark blue that they've used. Obviously that's very Red Bull blue, and the Red Bull is like a nicer blue now. It's more like the blue that when I think back and think of Red Bull, it's more that blue, as opposed to this like really kind of dark, like navy, almost purpley blue that they've been using. But yeah, no, it's sick. I mean, if we've got more of this to come, I will say, for me, there's still a little bit too much black on these cars. I don't know if you felt the same. I still felt there was a little bit too much carbon fiber. I know there is regulations in place now to try and limit the amount they're allowed, but yeah, if this is how we're going to go on, I also think the cars look really nice, like really nice. And I know this isn't what they're necessarily going to look like when we get to Bahrain, but obviously it's a good basis to go off. Like, the cars look slick.
Yeah, I love the Ford as well, and the Red Bull. I just think it looks brilliant. Obviously, as we know, Audi is released on the 20th of January, Haas on the 23rd, and Ferrari on the 23rd as well. Oh, along with Alpine, actually. Sorry about that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Ferrari is going to be like. I it is a class part to the year, isn't it? When you get the liveries, I'm kind of glad. And tell me if you think I'm wrong on this one. I'm kind of glad they didn't do the reveal like they did last year. I wasn't a massive fan of it. I quite like, especially this morning, waking up, after, because they did it in Detroit, I think, the release, to wake up and go, wow, okay, you can have time to really look at it, look at it in depth, look at the photos. I liked it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like. Are we also talking about the Wembley, wherever they were, when they did the big like F1 launch with Jack Whitehall and
Yeah.
Look, it was fine. I just think it's one of those things. It's another Americanization of the sport, and I actually love these like car launches, and I think they're just way more personal, done in this way. So, no, I much prefer it this way. I hope they don't do another event like that again, to be honest.
No, I like it. Right, Luke, it's been a while, but I got a little quiz for you. Okay.
Oh no.
So I found this while scrolling through social media. But I want to know, I want you to guess, the races with the most overtakes each season. So from 2014 to 2025, I want you to guess what races in each of those seasons had the most overtakes. So you've always stated, at 2025, you always stated you're very good at quizzes. So,
I am.
let's put it to the test.
Play at home. Can we make this one multiple choice?
You can make it multiple choice. Let's start off with 2014, shall we?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to tell you how many overtakes and you can guess the actual track?
I'd rather you give me like 3 tracks and it's one of them.
Oh.
Or does that make it too easy? Well, okay, 2014. I don't know. Maybe it was Brazil.
It was the German Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Yeah, 65 overtakes. I can give you multiple choice if you like. I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay.
So, 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you've got the Chinese Grand Prix, you've got the Brazilian Grand Prix, or you've got the Malaysian Grand Prix. The amount of overtakes in this was 60.
I'm trying to think if Malaysia rained that year. I'm going to say Malaysia.
Congratulations. It was 60 overtakes in that race. Right, 2016. You've got Azerbaijan. You've got the Belgium Grand Prix. Or you've got the Chinese Grand Prix. In this, right, I'm just going to put this out there. There was 128 overtakes in this race.
Oh, God. I don't know why something in my memory is telling me that it rained that year in China. So, China.
Well done. Spot on. Look at you. You do know your stuff. Incredible. Right, 2017. The most overtakes was only 42, but you've got the Portuguese Grand Prix, Silverstone, or Azerbaijan.
Silverstone.
Azerbaijan. 42 overtakes. Right, 2018. You've got, there's 50 overtakes. You've got the Brazilian Grand Prix. You've got Silverstone, or you've got Azerbaijan.
That sounds like the same. 2018. Brazil.
Azerbaijan.
Oh my God.
2 years back to back. Right, the question is, can they go for a triple header? 2019, 58 overtakes. You've got Azerbaijan, right? You've got the French Grand Prix, and you've got Silverstone.
I don't think it would be the French Grand Prix.
Do you know what? I realised, mate, I've actually mucked this up. I didn't mean the French Grand Prix. I meant the Belgium Grand Prix. And I've actually just given you the answer. Fuck. Oh,
So,
God.
so is it Spa?
It's Spa. Yeah, sorry. I completely mucked that up.
You don't know your flags, do you?
Oh, no. I was trying to catch you out and I was trying to be smart, but that backfired. Right. 2020. Right. 58 overtakes. Was it the Portuguese Grand Prix? Was it the Chinese Grand Prix? Or was it the Dutch Grand Prix?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Zandvoort. So, wait, we weren't even at Zandvoort in 2020. So that makes it a little bit easier. What were the other two you gave me?
The Chinese Grand Prix or the Portuguese Grand Prix?
I don't think we went to China in 2020 either. So I'm going to say Portimao.
Well done. Well done. Right, 2021.
2020 and you picked China as one of the tracks.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucking where COVID started.
Yeah, see, you're catching you, seeing your knowledge, testing your knowledge, and well done. Right, 2021. Greatest season in F1 history. I'm going to put it out there. 56 overtakes. Was it the Brazilian Grand Prix? Was it Silverstone? Or was it the French Grand Prix?
Again, I don't think. I mean, you can overtake in France, to be fair. I mean, at Brazil, there was definitely 10 overtakes. I'm not sure if there was that, like, if it was that great of a race aside from that. I'm going to say. No, I'm going to say Brazil.
Well done. Right,
because I think Lewis jacked up the numbers nicely in that race.
He did. 2022, 62 overtakes. So, Australia, Brazil, Abu Dhabi.
2022 Abu Dhabi, I can't remember. 2022? Was that when Kevin Magnussen? I'm going to go Brazil again.
Brazil, well done. 2023, 112 overtakes, all right? Was it Abu Dhabi, the Dutch Grand Prix, or was it Brazil?
Okay, well, I wouldn't expect it to be Abu Dhabi. Zandvoort 2023 was in the... I'm sure this was in the rain. I'm going to say Zandvoort.
Spot on. Well done. Right, final two. 2024, 60 overtakes. Was it Las Vegas? Was it Abu Dhabi? Or was it Saudi Arabia?
Ooh, Saudi. I'm going to say Las Vegas.
It was Las Vegas. Well done. And finally, 2025, 60 overtakes. Was it Saudi Arabia? Was it Abu Dhabi? Or was it Austin, Texas?
Ooh. It could be Austin because... we had the crash. I'm going to say Austin.
Abu Dhabi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. Something different. I've got another quiz for you, Luke, because there's not loads of F1 news at the moment. But heading into the new year, if you're new to F1, I thought it'd be quite good to test your knowledge, give you a bit of indication what is coming up. So, the 2026 F1 engine suppliers. Let's see how good your knowledge is. So, Ferrari engine. What teams will be using the Ferrari engine for 2026?
Ferrari.
Well done.
Cadillac.
Yep.
And Haas.
Spot on. What about Mercedes?
Mercedes. Williams. McLaren. Alpine. And I think that's it.
That's it. Well done. I mean, look, Red Bull Ford powertrain. This is a bit of an easy one.
I think that might be Red Bull using that one.
It is, yeah. Well done. Yeah, just Red Bull.
But I imagine there's also a racing bull that has that in as well.
Yeah, well done. Honda
Power is Aston Martin this year.
And finally, this one. This will really get you, okay? And you may not get this, but that's okay. Audi.
I've had a good long hard think about that, and I think it might be Audi.
Well done.
Should I tell you what, right? I've always found the engine thing to be a little bit boring in that, you know, you've got like most of the teams had Mercedes engines, and then, you know, you've got Haas and Ferrari. I actually really like the fact that we've got more works teams this year, and, you know, we've got Aston Martin, who are just having a Honda engine, you know, Audi with just an Audi engine. I think broadening out that field does make it more exciting, because
Red Bull, like coming into a whole new season. They've been with Honda. They're coming away from that. Their own powertrain is big.
Yeah, it's exciting times for them as well, as they develop like that part of the team. And I think, yeah, it's just exciting. You know, we're going into these new regulations where the cars are all different. We're also under the impression, from what we're told, that the engines are going to play a big part in these cars. I know that might sound ridiculous to some of you, because surely the engine plays a big part all the time. Yeah, but, you know, in the ground effect era, the aerodynamics were most important. We are led to believe, as, should I just say, someone that is not very knowledgeable on that side of the sport, that the engines are allegedly more important this year. So, you know, the fact that we've got a multitude of teams like making their own engines or having engines that are specific to their car, I think is exciting. I did read something about a certain team's engine. I don't know if you saw this. This is coming fresh out of the F1 rumour mill. Johnny Herbert. You know our friend Johnny Herbert.
Good old Johnny Herbert, yep.
Who we've never met or spoken to. He said that apparently one of the teams, Mercedes, have an issue with their engine, in that it doesn't work when it goes in the car.
Oh, good.
So that's quite a big problem.
I hate when that happens. It's
yeah, I mean, it's all well and good the engine working when it's not in the car, but when it's in the car, it really needs to work.
I'm smelling crap. I don't believe for a second. Firstly, Johnny Herbert actually has reliable news. Okay. Secondly, I don't believe for a fact that the likes of Mercedes, multiple constructors world championships, all of this stuff, can't measure an engine to fit in their car.
Herbert reveals integration issues at Brackley. Former Grand Prix winner and FIA steward Johnny Herbert has shed light on the quiet concerns surrounding the Mercedes camp, dismissing the idea that the positive rumours are entirely accurate. Herbert noted that while he hasn't heard from the teams directly, he has received accounts of a fundamental issue during the assembly phase. Specifically, the team reportedly struggled when attempting to fit the new internal combustion engine into the rear of the chassis. According to Herbert, the most alarming detail was that the car simply refused to start once the components were finally in place.
Mate, I smell crap. That's rubbish. Where did Johnny Herbert get this from? What, is he out for a nice little family evening at Nando's or something, and then there's an engineer sitting on the opposite table by going, "Oh, Johnny, don't want to alarm you, but we can't fit our engine." I don't believe that's true.
He was speaking to Little Mo with the gammy leg down the pub.
Oh, okay, fine.
And he heard it from him. He's a reliable source.
Yeah. To be fair,
The
I
thing-
often get my news from when I go out to Tesco checkout.
Look,
There is other
mate, all I'm
shops.
saying is this could be true.
It's not
And
true. That's not true.
well, all right. Well, okay. So
Look, you and I,
if we
you
turn
and I
up
have
to
always been
if we-
criticised for believing fake news, and you and I are very gullible with things like
this ain't
this.
fake. This ain't fake. Mate, I'll bet you a tenner, right? First race of the season, Mercedes will start the engine. They won't pull off the line.
Great. It means a better chance for Lewis to win. So absolutely fine. I'll take that. Anyway, that is rubbish.
I reckon it's legit.
Yeah. Do you want another quiz?
Yeah, that's how. Who wants to be a millionaire?
Right, for £1 million. Right, we've spoken already about, coming into this year, engine supplier, but I want to look back to the hybrid era and the drivers with the most wins during the turbo hybrid era. So, Luke, there's 10 drivers. I want you to guess in order. I give you the amount of wins if you like, and you can tell me the drivers. Yeah?
Okay, so this is obviously since 2014.
2014 to 2025. So, with 83 wins, who's that?
That's Lewis Hamilton.
71 wins.
That would be Max Verstappen.
20 wins.
Yeah, it gets a bit tougher here. I'm probably going to say Nico Rosberg.
Nico Rosberg. That is mental because he only had 3 seasons in the hybrid era. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he did have arguably 3 of the best.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fourth with 14 wins.
I'm going to say Valtteri Bottas.
Sebastian Vettel.
Oh, I forgot about that bloke. Incredible. Yeah. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Ferrari.
P5 with 11 wins.
There, I'm going to say Valtteri Bottas.
Lando Norris.
What the fuck was Valtteri Bottas doing in that car? How is he not top 5?
P6.
That's ridiculous.
P6 with 10 wins.
I don't know now. It's got to be Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas. 10
That
wins.
is outrageous. The fact that I'm sorry, Bottas. I like you, and I really hope you do well at Cadillac this year. But what the hell were you doing?
P7 with 9 wins.
This could be a young man named Oscar Piastri.
Spot on. P8 with 8 wins. Actually, you can have P8 and P9, 2 drivers with 8 wins.
Well, one of them is Charles Leclerc.
Yep.
The other, I don't know. Hang on, can we just appreciate how mental it is that Oscar Piastri has more wins than Charles Leclerc? That is insane. Charles has been in the sport for a long time now, and the fact that Oscar basically picked up all his wins this season. I know, did get 1 or 2 last season, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
The other individual, it could be Sergio Perez.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Wow, Danny Rick. Yeah, fair.
And finally, in P10, with 6 wins, who is it?
Yeah, that's Sergio Perez.
That is Sergio Perez. Isn't that mad? I completely agree with you. The fact that Bottas, with the amount of the domination in that Mercedes, he's only got 1 more win than Oscar Piastri.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I know we say about Charles Leclerc, but Charles, that Ferrari is. But Valtteri Bottas was in that Mercedes. There was no one really close for many seasons between him and Lewis Hamilton. I know Lewis won a lot, but Oscar Piastri is 1 race win behind him already. Well, actually, it doesn't make a difference now in that season.
I mean, that probably goes to show why, Daniel Ricciardo is not close to Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Sergio Perez is not close to Max Verstappen. I guess when you're up against the best, you're up against the best. And if you've got the best car, but the best has the best car also, you don't beat the best. But I do find it quite crazy. That is quite a big difference, isn't it?
It's mental. I've got so many other quizzes, but I don't want to bore you today, so we'll do more quizzes next week. I've got some really good ones coming up. Just finishing, I know it's going to be quite a short podcast, but it's nice to be back. GP. There was a lot of reports over the winter break that he was going to be leaving Red Bull to head to, reports were saying that he was going to go to Aston Martin. It seems like he is staying with Red Bull for the moment. This season is key for Red Bull, and we've discussed this many times before, but it's key for keeping Max Verstappen past 2026. It's also key for keeping the likes of GP past 2026. Lauren Mekies has come out and said, actually, you're going to have to bear with us for the first few races to get, we will come good, but we just need to give us a bit of time. They don't have long, do they, to really turn this around? Well, not turn this around, but...
do you find that quite strange from your team principal of being like, it doesn't exactly fill you with confidence, does it? Red Bull are not a team... I don't know, maybe they're trying to like play it down, but Red Bull are not a team that should need a few races to get into it. They're, and I'm not saying like unrealistic expectations here. They're at least a team that should be coming out and being like, yeah, we expect to come out fighting at the front. We're Red Bull. We've done that for the last 5 years. We've done it many times before. I think they should be. That's more the mentality that I would be expecting, not, let us settle in. It might be a slow start. Like, that sounds like panic to me.
Yeah, it is a very strange one, isn't it? So, for me, I think this year is key. I think Max stayed to see what they could do this year, but actually, if they have a poor season, like he's going to have options and he'll be gone. Also, I think with GP, what he's done for the team and his success he's had with Max Verstappen and Red Bull, again, he's someone else who could go anywhere on that grid. So it is a big season for Red Bull. They need to actually start strong, because come middle of the season, if they're lagging behind, we'll be having a completely different conversation.
Yeah. I mean, look, Max is going to have his pick of any team. No matter who comes out on top, Max Verstappen will likely be racing for them next season. I don't think Max will stay at Red Bull if they're not competing for wins, because he can go anywhere. He's done everything for Red Bull. He doesn't owe them anything. He's won them world championship after world championship after world championship. He does not owe them a single thing. And if they don't deliver for him this year, could you blame him? Could you blame him if he was like, okay, well, Audi are the best team, let me go knock on their door? Yeah, he'd walk straight into that team. Any team Max Verstappen walks straight into.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't tell you. Well, no, I told you, but I don't think I've mentioned, because we obviously haven't done a podcast. I'm going to the Austrian Grand Prix this year.
You are? Yeah.
I'm actually quite excited. Nice little Christmas present. Bit of a shock.
Are you going to drive there?
We are, actually. Yeah. We decided we're going to drive. Flights there look all over the place. One, they're ridiculously expensive, but ultimately it just looks like a nightmare to get there. So we thought we'd do a little drive along there. I think it's about 15 hours, but it's all right. Driving through.
Just a little drive.
Well, I mean, it's quite nice. I think when you're driving in a different country, different surroundings, I don't mind that. Like when I went to Spa the year before, we drove there. It was really nice. Really, really liked it. But yeah, going to the Austrian Grand Prix. Do let us know what Grand Prix are you going to this year. I'm buzzing for it, actually. Quite looking forward to it. I like the Austrian Grand Prix.
You know one man who we should get back on the podcast?
Good old Brandon.
Yeah, I wanna speak to him about his plans for this year. He's got
very exciting plans.
We got gifted that card that just admits him into any F1 race this season, which is unbelievable and very well deserved because he was very consistent. He, pursued with this challenge for a whole year, had to fork out over 20 grand on it. If anyone deserves something like that, it's not the wealthy influencers that get taken out to any Grand Prix they want anyway by brands while getting tens of thousands on top of it. It's someone like that who is, a true lover of the sport and has done a lot for the sport as well. That content that he's created has been class. So yeah, I was buzzing to see that he got that, but I'm really curious to know what he's up to or what his plans are for this year.
Yeah, we need to get him back on. And it's just weird, wasn't it? Because he did his first kind of interview with us. And after that, I'm not saying from us, but it just snowballed. He was doing interview after interview after interview. It was the box effect, but he
owes us massively. I'm going to invoice him.
Yeah, or he could just send us to 5 or 6 races. We just use his card. It's fine. We're just just between you and I, Luke, we could just alternate it. All right. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I wouldn't want to go with you.
No, God, no. I wouldn't want to spend any time with you. That's why. Why do you think we record in separate houses?
It's nicer.
Yeah, for me. But no, buzzing for Brandon. We need to get him back on. It was really good to see the success he had last year. So yeah, really excited to see what he's going to do this year. But I believe that is going to be the end of the podcast. We are back. We are Box. We'll be back every week. Leading up to the new season, which next week we'll have a lot more liveries to look at, to review. But yeah, do get involved. Check us out on social media, TikTok, Instagram. Even though we haven't been posting, we've still had a lot of interaction, which has been great. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. But we've got a big season coming up. Adami has left the side of Lewis Hamilton. Who's coming in? We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, have a great week and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.